space for growth, accountability, and transformation, where insight meets action and people learn to move forward with purpose. Miss Jackie, another week, another great episode for sure. The first season seeing the tone for. Tone for
Wow.
what?
Yes. Wow. First season. I love it. Yeah. So we're in episode 12 now as I was recording. So today's episode is called The First Session, Setting the Tone for Growth. So as we know, the first session can build trust, clarity, and momentum right away. So it's important to set it on the right path, right? From the
Mm-hmm.
start.
See, I did mispronounce session, not season.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I think I
Well,
know what you meant.
session and season goes together. Okay, people.
Yes.
Well, that is our topic for today, and for sure, I hope it will give you insight, especially on knowledge that will inspire you to be a better coach.
Yes.
Right, Miss Jackie? So
Yes.
the first session, setting the tone for growth. That I think is very important if you're having a client.
Yes.
Setting
Absolutely.
boundaries, setting the growth is very important to establish your rapport each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, that first session really helps when it comes to that.
And people, I think the first session is important moment on any coaching because mentoring on a personal growth journey itself is the tone for everything that follows. It is the during this initial conversation that trust begins to form, expectations are clarified, and the foundation for growth is established. As a strong first session creates a safe, supportive environment where individuals feel comfortable sharing their goals, challenges, and aspirations. What do you think, Miss Jackie?
Absolutely. Right. I think it's so important. It sets that tone of that coach client relationship right early on. And so I think that's important. And I think it's also too clients, they come in with mixed emotions, right? When they're coming into a coaching session, they don't know what to expect sometimes. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It just depends on if they've done it before or not. Have they done counseling before? Maybe not. Do they
Mhm.
know the difference? So sometimes they're coming in with that sense of hope, but they could be coming in nervous as well, maybe even guarded and not sure what to expect. So I think as coaches, it's important to set that tone.
Certainly. So, Miss Jackie, what goals or changes are you hoping to achieve through this growth journey, and what are they important to you right now as a coach?
Right. So I think it's important in that first session to create that sense of safety, but also that direction of where things are going to go in that first from that first session onward. So to me, it's kind of laying down that foundation or setting that compass towards the direction of it. So if you don't have that strong foundation and you don't set that compass of the direction early on, I think it can derail things. So I think it's important to do that as well. So yeah, and you can also, as we talked about in other sessions, clarify what coaching is, what it isn't, set expectations around that confidentiality, the boundaries, as you mentioned, and what the role of the coach is as well. So there's so many different things you can cover in that first session. So laying it out clearly and making sure that the client understands what what it's going to be all about, not just in the first session, but moving forward as well.
Yes. These questions invite reflection when someone consider what goals or changes that they hope to achieve through the growth journey.
Hmm.
They begin to clarify what truly matters in their life or in this moment. Goals may involve personal development or improving relationships, strengthening leaders' skills, building confidence, or finding a greater balance between work and personal lives. So, Ms. Jackie, what goals or what challenges or obstacles have you been facing that led you to seek growth or guidance at this time as a
Mm,
coach?
right. So I think that's important too. Yeah, I think some of the things we can have, like you talked about, those challenges that can come up, obstacles that personal or professional that can hinder that growth. So I think one of the things you can do in the first session is give space in that session for the client to tell their story and their reason for seeking coaching. I think sometimes, and I've seen this before in coaching and I've seen it in counseling as well, that the coach or they want to actually rush through it and get right to what are your goals, what are this and that, but maybe just take some time in the first 10 minutes of the session, in that first session, and just let the client tell their story, right? And I think it helps to shape it really well when they do that. So and then when you have that, you can identify what that success may look like. And even if the client's not fully clear on what their goals are, I think you can still do that. And then I think also one thing that's important too to help with that is to build rapport with the client early on. So I think those can help as well. And then hopefully you can build in those opportunities to show that it's that you're there to guide them along the way, and that if they do face those obstacles, that you're there as a coach to help them get back on track, right?
Mm, certainly. These questions encourage individuals to reflect honestly on the barriers that may be preventing them from moving forward. Challenges often come with many forms, such as uncertainty about direction, lack of confidence, burnout, or time constraints, or difficulty in balancing personal and professional responsibilities as well. So, Miss Jackie, how would you define success for yourself at the end of this process?
Oh, I think that's really good. I think one thing that I would want to do as a coach is to one goal of mine would be to create a calm, welcoming environment for the client. Because if they feel nervous coming in to the session and I'm nervous as a as a coach, then that's not going to end well, right? So create that calm, welcoming environment for the client. And I think one thing, we talked about this before, asking those thoughtful, open-ended questions. So instead of asking questions that will lead to yes no answers or maybe or something like that, ask open-ended questions. That'll help you to get deeper and, again, get that story from the client and what their goals are. And then let the client talk without trying to fix everything immediately. I think a lot of times what we want to do as mentors or as coaches is we want to analyze and we want to fix in the first session, and that's not going to happen. So I think that's one thing too. And then I would say probably end with something that they can reflect on, or a next step, so that you know that this is not just a that first session is not done in isolation, but it's part of the bigger picture or the puzzle that you're trying to put together for them and make it a clear path for them. So I think that will help. So those are the things I would recommend to make it a good first session for your client.
Definitely. The first session is very important. As they said, first impression is lasting. And how or what strength or personal qualities do you already possess that can support your growth and development? Miss Jackie?
Yes, I think one thing is active listening. I think that's an important quality, right? Because that helps with the open-ended questions. And but being able to listen to the individual and not trying to come up with an answer, or not trying to think of the next thing that you're going to say, but having that active listening, having empathy, I think is important too. I think we've talked about that before, having empathy and
Mm-hmm.
grace towards your clients, right? I
We
think
did,
that's
yes.
important. Yes. And I think also being organized as a coach is so important, because you're not going to just have one client. You're going to have multiple clients, and they're all going to have different needs. They're all going to have different personalities. So I think being organized is so important. I don't think we think of that, but being able to have, so if you have a coaching business, or if you're trying to start a coaching business, make sure that you have all of that in place before you start seeing clients. I think that's so important, because if you start seeing all these clients and start lining them up, but you're not organized in what you're doing, and you don't have good project management, or you don't have good organizational skills, then it's going to be a mess, and you're not going to you're going to miss appointments, or you're going to be late or something like that, and it doesn't reflect well on your professionalism as a coach. So I think that's another thing that can be a make or break situation, is to do that. And just and if you need help with that to get started, then seek out some professional help with that. So it's okay. As professionals, sometimes we need to seek out other professionals as well to help us.
Yes. If you need help, people ask for help. And sooner or later, Miss Jackie, my plan to our coaching 101, we are having a coaching business. For me, my alignment is coaching people to have their own podcast, and for Miss Karen to be a coach in arts. And I don't know for you, partner, what will be you gonna do as a coach?
Hmm.
Like what you specialize?
Right. Yeah. So my specialization is in education, training, instructional design. So I can help businesses, whether they're doing executive. So I can help, in that sense of it. So even though I don't have that coaching, credential, I can still, help with consulting and things like that. So yeah, so I can come alongside anybody that wants that help as well. Because when you're starting a business, you have to have, especially if you're going to have people that are going to work with you, you have to be able to provide that personal and professional development. So it's so important, and I think that's one thing that's often overlooked. That training and professional development are one of the cornerstones of a good business. So yeah, so I like that.
Let's do that. Let's do it, Miss Jackie, to the next level next year, because I'm still establishing all the podcasts that I we are doing right now. Let's do, because you are in the US and I'm in Canada. Let's do have
Right.
set up coaching 101 LLC that protect ourselves.
I love
That will
that.
be a
That's a great
next
idea.
step. Yes, that will be our next step for Coaching 101. I hope you will support us. I will specialize in how to create a fascinating podcast, and Miss Jackie will give you a direction and business, and Miss Karen will give you a direction for being an artist.
Hmm,
So, looking forward for that brighter future on Coaching 101. So, please support us. So,
absolutely.
Miss Jackie, what fears, doubts, or uncertainties might be holding you back from reaching your full potential?
Oh, right. I think the number one thing I think most people get held back with something is fear of failure. And I know I've
Yeah.
experienced it myself. It's like, what if I don't do good at this?
Fear of
Or,
failure.
yeah,
Yeah.
you start to doubt yourself, and you start to doubt your abilities. So I think, yeah, just look at all you've accomplished as an individual. And if you're going into a new adventure, yes, it can be scary. And if you do fail, I think it's okay. I think the main thing is to pick yourself back up and dust yourself off, and just continue to try again, and know that, okay, that method didn't work, or that approach didn't work, but let's try another approach. And I think so many times people give up before the success comes, right? And success
Yes.
doesn't come right away. The true measure of success is not how quickly you you are success, not how quickly it comes, but are you able to endure through that and the ups and downs. And I think that's a true measure of success, not how much money you make or how well known you are, but how you're able to endure through the storms and through the ups and downs. Because sometimes you learn the most through those trials and tribulations than through the success itself. So, yeah, I would say just don't give up too soon. It's so easy
Yes,
to do that. Yes.
definitely. Well said, partner. Well said. People don't afraid to commit failure mistakes because they are good lesson for you to be a better, best, and excellent in the future. Make
Right.
sure that you will learn from it. As a podcast host, I well failed many times, but they said try and try and try until you succeed. I commit mistakes that I learn from those mistakes. Comparing from my episode one, episode two, or season one, season two, there's a lot of mistakes over there,
Right.
but well, comparing now on season six that I'm doing these everyday episodes, interviewing a lot of people. Well, it builds your confidence and make you better because of those failure in life, those mistakes in life. So don't be afraid, people.
Right.
Keep doing mistakes and failure because they are
Absolutely.
the big lessons in life to be
Mm.
better. So, Miss Jackie, how open are you to a new perspective, feedback, and stepping outside to your comfort zone?
Oh, yes. I think that's so important. I can actually talk about my podcast too, those
Mhm.
experiences. So, yes, I'm always open to feedback. You and I even do that, and I'm sure you do that on all your
Yes.
podcasts. You welcome that feedback because I think it helps you, as they say, iron sharpens iron, right? In scripture. So, I think that's where we can become stronger with each other and having that opportunity. So, for example, with my podcast, I was going to give up a couple of years ago. I think it was around like December 2024, something like that. I didn't feel like I had the motivation anymore to do it. I was like, I'm not getting interviews like I wanted to. And I just felt like I was constantly doing this hamster wheel of like, I don't have the content I'm looking for. And I just felt like it was a lot of work. And I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. And I just felt like my goalposts I was moving farther and farther away from that goal. So, but then May of 2025, I came across Podmatch, got an email from Alex, and I was like, "What's all this about? What's Podmatch?" Right? So then I decided on a whim to join because it was $6 a month. I was like, "Okay, let me give it a try," and it just turned around my podcast. Within a few months, I started having people on my podcast, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is great." So I was ready to actually hang it up and quit. And now I'm at episode 101. 102 is going to release tomorrow. So if I had given up, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met Russell, who
Yes.
does dyslexia classes. I wouldn't have met all the wonderful people that I've met on my podcast all around the world. I've had people that have reached out to me on LinkedIn and like, I love your podcast. I listen to it every week. And I've had some of them on my podcast. So it goes to show that, yeah, you just have to be willing to put in that work and effort and, yeah, not give up on it.
Sacrifice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice something because
Right.
podcast says it's something else. If you're dedicated to do it, you need consistency. You have this passion of doing every day, which is the key of ingredients to grow and build something to your legacy. And speaking of feedbacks, thank you for all the feedbacks that I received for all my book 101 review, abstract essay, and entrepreneurship 101. They are so fabulous. But three or four of them are not so great, but those great that's not so great make them inspirations. One of the comment of my book 101 review, it is one of them. I said, I just come from interview of an AI narratives. And
Mm.
then I did not react so violently. I asked the guy who said, "So tell me how to improve more. How do I react with the episode itself so that for my second episode, for my upcoming episode, I will be better than the narrative AI." And sad to say, the guy did not respond, but I accept that feedback for me as a good one. It motivates me to be a better for my next interview, which is that's good. Having those negative and bad feedback is good for you because it
Hmm.
balance. Not always good, 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 which is you are having a confidence. Oh, I'm so good. Oh, I'm doing, and yet other people perceive you that you're just like AI narratives doing this structured format. Which is I am. I do have a structure because I believe that having a structured format give you something because I even the universe have a format.
Hmm.
Circling the universe, even the planets have a format. So if you have a format that you are using, mean to say that 100% you will be successful because of that patterns. Because we are created with patterns. I
It's true.
myself.
I am too.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that consistency helps. Absolutely. I think it's key. And then also be willing to make adjustments when you need to. Like my
right.
intro to my podcast has changed several times because then I'm like, well, I've expanded my listener audience, right? So I can't
Yep.
just say. I used to say GC students and alumni in the beginning, and I'm like, oh, I need to expand it out. I can't just have my audience. Originally, my podcast was for my students, but I realized that since it's worldwide now, I can't just focus on my students in my class, although they are still part of that audience, right? They listen to it. But I
Mhm.
realized I have to expand it out, so my intro changed, and then how I interview people, that's changed. So yeah, so being willing to make those small adjustments, right, is important. But I agree, consistency is so important in what you do. That's a
Yes,
good thing.
yes. And having a pattern, people, is boring. Most especially if you human. Human are built to be bored. If you have a patterns, thank God those planets have no feelings or whatever to feel bored that circling the planet, circling the sun every now and then at the same time they are rotating. That's so boring. And for
Hmm.
us, yes, for sure. If you have a pattern that you follow every single day, you feel bored. But if you have a discipline, as I said, if motivation is gone, discipline is there, well, it will give you the best results. So, Miss Jackie, to wrap up our discussion for today, what do you typically respond to setbacks and what you like to change about that response moving forward?
Yes. I think setbacks are a way to actually set you up for greater things. So don't look at setbacks as setting you back, but think of it as maybe a setup for greater things. So I think changing our approach and changing our mindset to what setbacks are, I think can help us and just look at it as a way to learn from it and move forward in that process. So look at it as a setup for something better.
Yes, definitely. So, people reflecting on how to respond to setback is an important part of personal and professional growth. Challenges and disappointments are inevitable, but they have also provide valuable opportunities for learning, resilience, and improvement. As we said, don't afraid to make mistakes or failure because you will learn from them. They are a good teacher in our lives. So, Miss Jackie, would you like to plug in something?
Sure. If anyone would like to follow my podcast, we're talking about podcasts today. It's called Designing with Love, and it's about education and instructional design. And I bring in technology like AI and different elements into it. So if you're interested, just follow it and listen wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Jackie Pellegrin because if you support her for sure, we'll have more episodes to rise. And of course, our 101s, we have a like six podcasts plus one coming this week. Miss Jackie will be my new co-host on Motivation 101. Let's do motivate you to be a better person, to be a good coach, to be a better coach coach or whatever, let's motivate you. Well,
Yes.
even we're saying, what happened if motivation is gone?
Mm,
What we gonna do, Miss Jackie, if motivation is gone?
right. I don't think it's, yeah, who knows? I don't think it's going to be very pleasant to be living day to day if we're not motivated, if that's gone.
Yes. Miss Jackie, to tell you frankly, when I do all the podcasts that I'm doing, my motivation is to earn millions of money, billions of money.
Yes, I think that's a good thing. Yeah,
But if
with my all my adventures, yeah,
yes,
that's what I'm aiming towards too. So little by
mindset,
little.
a money magnet mindset.
Yes.
That's very important, people. The mindset itself. If you don't have the mindset, it will give you a poor outcome because those are things or ingredients that make you better in life and motivate you to do it better. So tune in for next week. Miss Jackie will be my co-host for Motivation 101 every Saturday, where you can listen wherever you listen your podcast. It's a part of GemX community. So tune in, and Coaching 101, of course, is already available wherever you listen your podcast. Bible verses 101, and Miss Jackie is not belong yet for love letter.
Right.
Who knows?
You never know.
Who
Maybe
knows?
up to 8 at some
We're,
point.
we're creating something, adding and adding and adding. And we're live every Friday for our AI 101, Tech 101, and of course, our mystery
Yes.
Mystery Stories 101. You know what,
Yes.
Miss Jackie? Every time Mysteries, Mystery Stories 101, we're doing live. Every now and then, I observe somebody's watching us on YouTube.
Oh,
Imagine,
wow.
yeah. So I think this Mysteries 101 is good for the podcast.
Yeah.
Not even zero. Every time you're doing live, somebody's watching.
Well,
So
that's good.
mysteries is something good. If you observe like all the podcasts that they are creating, mysteries, crime are the leading podcasts that are having a big downloads, right?
Right. I think Crime Junkie is the biggest one right now. So
I
you
think
never know. We may get up to, that's possible, right? As the word gets around, right? So
we,
we're continuing to
we,
make improvements, and I think
uh,
we'll make it the best it can be.
yes, we are doing. We're trying our best to make our mysteries 101 be better, and as a trial and error. So people, please do tune in. If you don't like our live episodes on all social media or podcast, we are live on Live 365 under the Universal Podcast Network in the US and as well in the UK. Radio Talks under the Universal Podcast as well. So, Ms. Jackie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for joining us, and keep learning.
Modicon people, see you soon and tune in current events